I did have this one rock and roll experience which I'll never forget. I got invited to Charlize Theron's 30th birthday party, completely randomly, because my friend, well, Rona's boyfriend at the time was a lovely guy called Mathieu Schreier. He has a show on KCRW. He's a brilliant DJ, incredible record collection, and a real lover of music. And we connected, and we were making some music together in the studio, and he got me to play football with him on soccer, as we should say in America. With him,
we never say soccer. Never ever say soccer.
We shall always say
it's our
football.
game. It's played with foot and a ball. It's our game, and they can stop saying soccer. They can stick their soccer where the sun don't shine. It's football.
Hey,
their
it's
game.
football.
Their game is NFL or American football, whatever.
Exactly.
Who cares?
American football to us, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry.
But yes, no, you're right. You're right. I'm with you.
We don't need to pander to them.
No, that's true.
They had their independence. They probably want us back.
Well, all the Americans I know who love football, like soccer, football, and who are into the Premier League, they're all like, no, don't call it soccer to us either. It's football,
Exactly.
Whereas if you speak to Americans who aren't really into football, they'll call it soccer because to them, But anyway. So a guy called Stuart Townsend, who's a good actor,
yes.
and he was Charlize's boyfriend at the time, and he was playing football, and he'd invited Mature and Rona to her party, and I somehow managed to get an invite. So I'll never forget this. I had a car from the company called Rent-A-Wreck,
yes,
and it was this little old Honda Civic. And I was like, down the PCH. And Rona Mature had gone off in her big fat G-Wag. And I was like, in my little Honda Civic. I turn up at Charlize's Malibu, beachside house, beautiful house. And literally the valet told me to drive on. He was like, no, you're not coming here. I'm like, no, I'm coming to her birthday. He's like, not in that, you're not. And that was when I realised there was sort of snobbery. And I was like, what? So anyway, I got out of the car and I said, I am coming to this party. If you don't believe me, watch this. And he wouldn't take my keys. And I'm like, what? So I went to the door and there was a bouncer on the door. And he came and he's like, who are you? And I was like, oh, this is going to be an LA nightmare. I'm going to get turned away. And luckily, as I was standing there, Stuart saw me and he was like, James. And he comes over, he says to the bouncer, that's my friend, let him in. And then said to the valet, oi, park his car type thing. So I turned to the valet, because I'm not at all, I hate when people look down on anyone. And I said, look, I did tell you I was coming to the party. I know it's a Honda Civic, but, So I gave him the keys.
Wow.
And then I went into the party, and Stuart was so sweet, and he introduced to a few people, but he obviously was a host with her, and he had to go off and do things. I'm looking around, I see John Hurt. I'm like, my God. And Stephen Dorff comes over, has a little chat for a minute. Then sort of I get left on my own, and I'm like, I didn't really know anyone. And I was about to leave because I thought, look, I've had an hour here, but I don't know anyone. And I didn't want to get wasted because of the drive, And then the next thing I know, Charlize comes up and she's wearing a belt with tequila shots in it. She goes, I hear you're Rona Mature and Stuart's friend. And I said, yeah, look, it's been a wonderful party and, but I got to go. And she goes, no. And she gets tequila out and makes me drink 4 shots in a row. So that I couldn't drive. And I was like, ah! And I had an amazing night. I mean, it just got so much better. That's the only time I would say alcohol was a good thing. But I had a great night. So that was a crazy experience. So I do remember that. But that month was very much a lonely time. And I came back to England not convinced at all by LA and wasn't planning to live there. Then I met Clouds. Then I ended up getting involved through Claudio with this man called Klaus Bedelt, and I ended up making an album with him over a period of years. Started going back to LA quite regularly and had some amazing experiences recording in Henson Studios, Swing House. I mean, my album featured Abe Laboriel Jr., Michael Landau, Louis Conte, and Tom Costa was my band. I mean, that's a dream. And then James Guthrie mixed it, and we did the 30-piece string section at Abbey Road Studio 1. I mean, Klaus gave me one of the most incredible experiences of my life, for which I'm truly grateful to him. And it was an extraordinary experience. And over that time, I started to fall in love with LA.